we can edit anything out.
Yeah.
That's
Hey
the good stuff.
everybody, welcome back to the Hot Dabs podcast sessions on location. This time joining you all from Maine, the backyard of our good friend here, Coach Brucey. Coach Brucey, tell everybody a little bit about why we're out here in Maine today.
We're in Maine.
We got behind the scenes. His face
He's
in
coming
the
right now.
whole
You would have known who he
world.
was. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have had him come.
You should have let him.
Sorry.
All right, but why are we out here, Coach?
We're here
Why'd
in
you bring
Maine.
me out in Maine?
East Coast. East Coast. We brought you California guys out for a little hash competition thanks to Hidden Forest Farms. It's the Culture Cup, and it's one of the best events. This venue, I got to say, I've been to a few, as you guys know, and pretty freaking cool here. It's more a wedding venue with a garden than really a hash venue. We're not freezing. We're not overly hot. A little hot yesterday. Today's a little better, but
it's nice. We're here in a tent, so we're outdoors, and we're actually in a farm. There's a garden where some of us parked. I saw a mole running earlier while we were judging. So we're right in the heart of nature, out in all the green that is Maine. And Maine isn't known just for their illustrious green when it comes to the lawns, Brucey.
pretty good. There's some good green here.
There's some nice lawns and some nice buds.
We can do the fire in, fire out. There's some hash that comes out of here that's pretty fire.
Now, Brucey, are you born and raised out here?
I'm a masshole. I've been in Maine for about 11 years. My grandparents were from Maine, so I know this coast well.
Tell us a little bit about why do you think there's such a rich heritage right now when it comes to the hash scene? Is this a newly acquired love for the hobby, or is this something that's been passed down?
That's a little bit of everything. I think everything's been passed down, so I hate to say anything hasn't been passed down, but the culture's grown, if you will, into these crazy events that are just so damn fun. We got reggae playing tonight live after the event. This event had brackets, and you get through your bracket and you go on to the next. Today was the final, so it was very civilized. It was very good. People had a good time.
I've made that point before. When you look at the different markets for cannabis products, you have your BHO bros, and then you have your hash enthusiasts. The solventless connoisseurs tend to be a little bit more civilized. So there's a lot of respect passed around here at these events, especially when it comes to the Culture Cup. We want to shout out Hidden Forest. We want to shout out Hunter. Hopefully he's going to be joining us in a bit. But they really want to throw an event here that's for the hash makers and for the people that care the most. And they make sure that there's no corporate sponsors that want to just leech from the scene.
Right. And Maddie and the ladies too. Like Hidden Forest is that group of 4. Like, don't let them fool you. The girls do frickin' everything too. They're amazing. So
shout out
great
to the
group
ladies.
of people. Yeah, like I really love them. So their farm too. If you haven't seen it, when he goes live, just look at his frickin' plants, for Christ's sake. Anyway,
you can tell a lot by the man of how much he cares and puts into the plants, you know? And as you can see, everything here, they're growing not just plants, but the culture and the environment. They want to bring the best that New England has up against the best that the world has. So they did a pre-qualifier already, Brucey. Were you here for that?
Oh, yeah.
How was that? I heard they had 70 people here just for a pre-qualifier.
Well, I think that's why we had to do brackets. I mean, obviously we use the Ego style, branded style. You know, the jars go around. I love it.
Can't do 70 in a row.
You can't. You'd be dead. I tried whatever it was.
Brucey said you'd be dead, try it. And if you do try it, tag his ass.
Wait, what is that? Carrie did it, right? Carrie?
Oh, yeah, he did like 100,
did 100, yeah. I mean, so it's
crazy.
Doable. That's freak of nature, Barnum and Bailey shit.
But is that the best way to judge when you come?
You can't.
You can't do it.
I mean, I think, and to be honest, Shiragaman's interview with the guy Nick, not Fort Wendy Nick, the other Nick, I'm sorry I don't got it, but he basically says that in an ego class competition, he wants to just stain the rig so bad that like 10 hits in, it's still stained with his. I'm like, brilliant. That's the way you win these. You overpower. You know, it's like.
That is a good strategy. It's also like something that sits on your palate for the longest, you know, because you hit this wave of entries that kind of start to become dull. And when something actually sits on your palate, that's what you remember.
And the waters taste like it. The rig tastes like it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. All right, Brucey, we've been talking about dabs this whole time. I think it's time that we rip a dab ourselves. What do you say?
I'd love to.
Now, do you have a carb cap over there? That might have been the only thing you didn't
I think we're missing one.
But who do we have right behind us? None other than Zach Brown.
Zach Brown!
Can I buy a carb cap for Coach Brucey?
We need a carb cap for this rig. Something mellow.
Let me get one for Coach Brucey. This is what you do. You're out here at the Culture Cup. You're supporting the culture. Oh, we don't have a cap. Who's behind us? None other than one of the best in the entire game.
Brown. Fucking right.
What up, bro? We got the Mad Hasher behind us. There's legends everywhere in the mix. This is one of the most competitive fields.
We're vending with you.
Thank you, sir.
No need to buy it, dude.
Come on, bro. I want to support.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, maybe Zach will join us for a dab here in a little bit.
If you don't know Zach, get one of his caps, please.
Now that Brucey's ready to go, I'm gonna heat him up.
I'm gonna do your stuff?
Yeah, of course.
I've
Anything on the table.
Dustin has never, ever let Brucey try it. So
You and Shirogam love to say that I never share the terps.
It's a fact,
Listen, I
dude.
think there's some type of
You might share with the
insider
hashish, but
conspiracy
like,
going on
I
with
don't know.
you New Englanders and all you coffee and donuts
I don't
guys.
even know who that guy is.
Tend
Who's
to team up.
Shiraz? What? Who?
Listen, you want to talk about a conspiracy theory, Brucey. So I was down in Portland downtown, and I saw a sign for Portland, Maine Donuts Tour. And guess what? The colorway and the logo look pretty damn similar to another guy we know that throws a coffee and donuts tour. You want to address that? You got any? You heard about this? You seen this?
I don't know what you're even talking about
Huh?
right now.
All right. Coach Brucey's going to plead the fifth.
I mean, just
like a true American.
because you have a beef with Adam, it doesn't mean that you need to go about every donut you see is a problem with Adam.
Listen,
okay, it just doesn't work that way.
My beef doesn't lie with Adam, it lies with Monsanto, because we all know who is the corporate shill just working in the weeds for him, okay, Bruce? But we'll get to that another day.
How did you find out that that's his sponsor?
Because we're out here in the land of our forefathers, so I did like any true patriot, son of the patriots and son of the freedom fighters would do. And I did my due diligence. Now let's go ahead and see if
Did you heat me up?
I heated you up, bud. Is it good?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. I keep swearing, sorry.
Now, Bruce, what's one takeaway that people should know if they didn't make it out to the event this year? Is this the third year?
Yeah.
What's one thing that they should know about next year if they want to get involved with this? What can they expect?
If you make fire hash, you're leaving 30 grand on the table, or whatever it is, 27 grand on the table. Just to win that award. I just like this event again. It's mellow, it's civilized. The food, the potluck. We did a great potluck here in Maine. The food was probably the best food I've seen at all the events because it was just variety, right?
And
it was crazy.
That was all local people that brought that yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Am I supposed to go to a certain temp? Is this
whatever
like hot
temp.
down?
No, whatever you want. If you guys can hear all the rustle and bustle in the background, we are partying. They got a reggae festival going on tonight. Awesome. We just finished the judging. We were fortunate enough to qualify to the last table. This is one of the stiffest competitions because you need to qualify once, twice, just to get into the final table that actually judges for the money.
Sorry to interrupt. And brackets. You had to win your table to move on. Like I like that style of having sort of a bracketed. You don't have to try every dab. You have to try your table, really judge it well. You get time to go through 2 or 3 times. I'm going, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good point because, and when you may be thinking to yourself, oh, damn, they're doing tables. What if you get put at a table with the 10 best people and then boom, half the best entries?
Tough shit.
Tough shit. But also, the Hidden Forest thinks of that, bud. They go through and seed the entries based off the look, the smell at least, and they try to make it as fair as possible.
Why are you telling the secrets?
But hey, I'm trying to tell people this is a fair competition they're running over here, Coach.
I think this is one of the more fair.
Michelin Terps came through, blessed us with a jar. Another amazing aspect.
Yeah, they make great stuff.
All
I like those guys too.
That come up to you, it's like an adult trick or treat where you're trading jars, you're admiring the work. All these people are passionate about the same things.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it is. All right.
That was a great way to put it. The trading.
How am I looking?
570.
Okay.
Zach Brown cap, working at the church.
It's very fitting because we're in New England, the land of the barter from back in the day, and we're bartering here again.
What is it?
Dickering.
What we do around here is we knock and talk, we wheel and deal, we swap and trade, and we dicker. How much for this? $300 and we'll get out of here. $250. What's the best you do on it, cash money?
It's about 50.
Well, that's beating us up.
Dickering. Down East Dickering. Becker's Dickering. Who's got a jar? You got a jar. And you got a jar. And you got a jar. That was good. I like that. I like that. Oh, yeah. He got you.
Michelin Terps got me.
I'm telling you. What one is it? Yeah, this is the one I did. It's fabulous.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it is. Sorry, you all right there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, nothing going down. At least it's not me.
Which one did you do over there, Coach?
I did your this
Slurpee.
One. Yeah, it was good.
Some Bubba Sure Terps.
I did one of those. It's so high, I have no idea.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you for coming out. We appreciate you for being
really,
the safety officer. If you guys don't know who Coach is, if you make it out to one of these events, he may be here keeping you safe. We're in a tent today, and the only reason the tent didn't burn down is because Coach Brucey keeping us safe. So, Coach, thank you from all of us. We always appreciate your time, and the vibes are high every time you're around. What do you have to say to the people before they go?
Come to Maine, have some lobster, try some terps. If you need to know what terps to try, hit me up. but we have better terps than the other coast.
All right, East versus West competition coming up soon. Looks like I'm gonna have to throw it. My team versus Brucey's team.
Yes!
We're gonna have an
Oh my
all-star
God.
weekend on the West Coast. You're hearing it here right now. We're gonna do it in San Diego.
Oh my God.
Hash All-Star Weekend. Coach Brucey's team, the best of the East versus the best of the West.
Who's coach longer?
Don't call it the
Who's
Beast Coast
coach longer?
because Coach
Who's coach
is
longer?
a pussy.
I'm in. I like this idea.
Thanks for coming, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, kid.
See, that was easy. We're back. We had a disc bowl, but we had to clear a little space. Hunter, now, the reason why this competition goes so smooth, I think, is because you've competed in so many yourself. So you've been able to learn, like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to wait for hours for intake, or get yelled at, or I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my shit. Can you tell us a little bit about your farm specifically? Because you're not just an event organizer. You guys have a beautiful farm up here in northern Maine. Can you tell us a little bit about your farm and what you guys are out to do? What's your mission?
So me and my partner Matt and our girlfriends are all caregivers here in Maine. So we operate in a medical program, super modest, very small licenses, and it's produced an awesome market because of it, because it's a lot of really high quality stuff. So
is it limited by plants or canopy space?
there's options for both.
Okay.
So there's 500 square foot.
There's Matt right here, speak of the devil. Hopefully we're gonna get him on the camera.
Yeah, we're gonna have to coax him over here though. But yeah, so you can get a plant count or a square footage license for that. We do plant count.
So you do big ones?
We do large plants.
Full term?
Full term.
Is there any depths out here, or is it better to just use that full term sun?
Depths are pretty hot. So for us, it's tough because we'd be doing like open air depths.
I got you.
And the hash came out good, but not as good as the full term for us. So we kind of don't put too much effort into that, besides maybe pheno hunting or something like that.
Yeah, you're seeing where the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah. So we, didn't have funding. We had to save and make our own, money to fund the farm and to slowly build it. And so we can only afford to do what we can. And indoor wasn't really in that picture for us. So we kind of had a raw property to work with and have built off of that into like a farmstead, and we raise animals and have a whole thing. So it's been a big journey, but we specialize in full term extracts here on the coast of Maine. And we do some solventless extraction for other brands here too.
Yeah,
so
collaboration, some of the best extracts I've ever tried. Getting jars from you guys really opened up my eyes to what Maine was doing.
Hell yeah.
And then everybody you've introduced us to has just solidified the fact that the scene is awesome out here. And it's amazing that you've built this up to what it is. And I'm sure it's just going to continue to keep getting bigger. So anybody at home that missed it, this is what you have to look forward to next year. You can hear the music in the background. You can hear the hustle and the bustle. You've seen some of the best hash makers probably passing by. Zach Brown in the background. Hunter, what do you have to say to the people that may be thinking about coming out next year that missed it this year? What should they know?
We're working on making things a little better for the general public. That's why we're kind of meshing with the Reggae Garden event here. So shout out to them. Zeke is an amazing reggae producer with hookups to a lot of really awesome, musicians like Richie Spice, who's coming tonight. So
shout out Richie
we're slowly
Spice.
working our way to have more of a public event, and we want everyone to be able to come. So our goal for the next one is to really have a full day dedicated to the public. It's a little confusing, I think, because it's like a lot of people are here, but they're all competitor related.
Yeah, it sounds busy in the background,
There was
but
no
listen,
tickets.
the event hasn't started yet, people.
Yeah, so
This is the pre-show.
we're trying to keep finding venues that are cool with this kind of thing, which is its own challenge, and we hope to really get more and more people here. So appreciate it and hope to see everyone.
Yeah, this
come
has
out.
been one of the best experiences. Everybody that was at the table today at the rosin final said it was the best table they've sat at. The best level of
Amazing.
entries.
Yeah.
And when you've made it this far already, people have had to qualify from 70 to 25, from the 50 back down to the 15. So today, later, we're going to find out, is it after the reggae concert you announce the winners?
Yeah, we'll be calling people up with Richie Spice's performance. We got some trophies this year, and we'll announce the winners, and have the whole collaboration with the reggae show as well. So.
And next year, Hot Dabs Podcast is going to be running the line on bets. We're going to have all the odds on all the hash makers. So anybody that wants to place a bet, hit us up. Hunter, we appreciate you. And any last words for the people at home?
I think pay attention to the competitor list when you support comps. Don't look into the organizer. See who's going, and the competitors make these competitions what they are. That's the list that's going to benefit these organizers. So just support the brands that you love and keep on pushing forward. And that's basically it.
That's a good message. Hunter, thanks for joining us live from the Culture Cup, the 3rd ever. We'll see you all at the 4th.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. All right. Everyone, we're back now, joined from another East Coast native, Chris from Cosmic Cheech, 2nd place finisher in his table yesterday, correct?
Yeah.
Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're currently operating in Massachusetts, but you said you don't claim that shit. You're claiming New York, right?
Yeah, grew up in like upstate New York. Fought against like prohibition there, and made my way to Massachusetts to try to get in like with a license and do it the right way.
Yeah, I don't hear many people saying fought against prohibition. It feels real colonial.
I know.
Real freedom fighter, and I like it. So how long have you been cultivating out here on the East Coast while it hasn't been legal?
So like back in 06, it all kind of like started for me. And I just fell in love with like, nurturing a plant and seeing like good results from good care. And I don't know, I fell in love with like just growing. And
so back in 2006, were you already into the solventless game, or was it purely for flower?
So I bought a set of bubble bags back in 06 from BC Bubble Man. Marcus.
The OG, yeah.
Yeah. And I did a couple watches, but I was only like watching trim, so
it wasn't fresh frozen, it was just whatever was laying around, not getting used. And then since then, back then it was harder to have access to cuts. They weren't necessarily as shipped around as they are today, genetics. How were you getting your clones or your seeds back then? Were you ordering seeds?
So I didn't order seeds earlier, but like I just worked off of seeds I found, and like
so you find seeded weed and just pop those.
And they were all femmes, and if we liked like something and we got a seed from it, like it would be like priority to like get it popped.
Yeah.
And I think back in like 2010 is like when I really started hunting and like popping more seeds.
Yeah. And 2010, was that when you started to actually buy packs and chase lineage?
No, that's when I actually like got deeper into like the seeds that I had.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you would just label them like, oh, this pack was blah, 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 and you'd save those seeds that you found in it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's almost like an original strain hunter. Like instead of going in the fields, you just waited and went through the packs you were getting. Were these packs that you were like destroying, or was this just personal sacks that you were smoking?
This is like personal head sacks.
Okay, nice.
And like some hermed like crops that happened, and next thing led to like, some of like our favorite like ganja in our crew.
That's what I was just gonna ask you. Did you find anything back then, or happen to keep anything from then that actually stood out, or was like, damn, this is awesome?
Yeah, like we had a lemon G cross, and like we just got a jar of lemon G for head stash, and I found a seed and, just worked off of that. And then eventually, like 2 years later, we got another feminized hybrid, popped another seed, and we got like an offspring of lemon G.
Yeah. So you showed me a jar earlier, and as soon as I smelled it, I was like, yes, I want a gram of that, because we've been bartering, we've been down East Dickering this whole trip.
You don't have to punch a clock. You don't want to get up in the morning. You don't have to. Or if you don't want to work that day, you can hop in your truck and ride around the back roads and smoke jibbers all day,
And I didn't quite understand what you meant when you were saying it's a different lemon G, but now it all makes sense. You just found the seeds from that weed. If anybody is from Ohio, or I'm from the western side of Pennsylvania, close enough, don't claim Ohio. claiming Western PA, claiming Mendo,
Yeah.
but also claiming Lemon G is fucking fire.
It's great.
It's awesome.
It's great.
And you found an offspring of that, a seedling.
Yeah.
And did you keep it for what, 10 years to this?
So like, just having passion with my friends and like setting up grows, you know, we found it, and you know, it was something special to us, and like we just kept it around, and it like set the bar for us. We're like, okay, everything needs to like express as loud as that.
Yeah.
So
what's this? Is this one of the crosses from that?
that's actually the rosin of my full melt entry.
Okay, and the competition is all done now. So you were in the melt and the rosin, or just the melt?
Yeah, I was in both.
Yeah, and this was the rosin version of what you entered. So tell us what this is.
So that's Beazle 1. Beazle 1's like an old school variety crossed to like an original diesel. So somebody took a trip out to Amsterdam and got like, you know, 90s Netherlands genetics from greenhouse seeds. And, you know, they crossed those two together in like a B line, let's say. And, they crossed it to the original diesel, and they, you know, they got really good phenos.
That is a beautiful new rendition. And what are these two jars you have? This is the one that we were talking about. What's this one again? This is.
So that's the Beazle pheno of like the new Lemon G like hybrid.
So this is the Lemon G seed, or this is?
Yeah,
already,
that's from seed. There was 3 seeds popped, and 2 of them were like our keepers. One was like obviously like a dominant lemon, and the other one was like a dominant Beazle. And we grew those 2 varieties together for like years. And then eventually, you know, we popped another batch of seeds and found that.
This is one of my favorite smelling jars that I've come across this whole weekend. Can I take a
Stop.
dab of this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm serious. This is nostalgic. It's the stuff that just punches you right in the nose, you know?
It's like a very floral, like, profile, but it has like myrcene there, so you get like this musky kind of back end.
I think it has sharpness of like sour cheese or a sour, you know, like.
So we label this in our crew as cheese.
Okay.
Nothing to do with like UK cheese.
No, yeah.
But like this is called, like, if you know like our crew.
Good cheese, yeah.
Yeah, but if you know like people in our crew, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you got a jar
You got
of
the
cheese.
yeah.
Yeah, like
that stuff is awesome. And you said it always ends up dry too. It's just something with the genetics sometimes.
Yeah, it's a high THCA
Yeah,
variety.
so it's not gonna be. It's wet.
Yeah, it has harder time like nucleating.
Yeah, you can already tell by smelling it. This shit is gonna pack a punch. You
Yeah.
want to try something from my jars?
Yeah, absolutely.
We got the Slurpee on the table. We got orangutan kitties, which is the Grease Monkey Skittles. Were you the one I was trying to remember what it was earlier and I couldn't think of it?
Possibly.
It's Grease Monkey Skittles. What up? There's a ranch walking past.
There's
who's
the
who
boss.
of cannabis out here.
The
we got
boss.
Cannabis Chris looking like, look at him just scanning the fucking.
He
Cannabis
knows.
Chris might have killed somebody.
He
hit a
owns the
body.
land.
He owns the land and he hid the bodies in the back. Coach Cruiser walking through with the water. Now, Chris, tell us a little bit about the culture out in Massachusetts. You're not far from here. I landed in Boston, drove up. It's an hour and a half. Do you see a lot of these guys on the reg, or do you guys kind of like stay in your own like avenue, stay in your own towns? Do you get to do this often out here, or what's
Yeah,
what's
so
the scene?
like for me, mass market was it was supposed to be like an illegal venture and like set up a cultivation, but you know, it just became like, you know, over the top with just regulation and barriers. So, you know, I just do my thing and like home grow, and I came out here because I wanted to like share like what I've been working on with everybody, and then like figure out like, you know, how good, you know, if I think it's good, like, do you guys think it's good?
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
were talking about with Hunter. It's awesome. A lot of people do believe that their jars are good, and you want to believe they're good, but this is a really good kind of measuring stick of how do I stack up against these people that, you know, maybe known for winning, or how do I stack up against some of the best? Because when it comes to how many times you have to qualify to even be here, you know you're going to be dealing with stiff competition.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
What's one takeaway that you think the people at home should know if they missed it this year? What's some advice to somebody that would like to try to get involved with this event next year?
So just like, you know, if you're gonna go to the event, like, line up your harvest and focus on like what you really want to enter, and, you know, make sure you're ready. just be prepared. Like, have good preparation.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is have some intention, you know? If you know this is going to be going on next year, which it is, maybe save something good or plan a harvest around having some special material. Maybe something that doesn't yield well needs to be grown because you want to make an impact. You want to show people you can deliver terps that aren't usually brought to the table, you know? But when these competitions, it doesn't necessarily take things that you have in rotation all the time or heavy yielders. It just takes something that shows somebody something different and shows somebody that you have a love and adoration for this plant.
Yeah, I think we're all here and like we all care so much about the plant and like our culture. And I think we all do a very good job like participating and you know, like we're all here to like we did like a big potluck yesterday. Like
it was amazing.
It was awesome.
There was so much different types of food. That's what really struck me. I was like, wow. Because I did a podcast the day earlier with Mega Raw Melts, Tucker and Sleeps on Couch, two of the best rosin competitors in the field. And when they were leaving the podcast, they were like, oh, I still got to make my cookies. And Tucker said, oh, I got to bake my blah, blah, blah. And I was like, damn, like, this is a real community vibe out here. And
for sure.
That was just one small thing that they said to each other and leaving. But it really struck me because they were leaving, they just got done with the podcast, and the first thing they were thinking about is, oh, I still got to get this ready for everybody tomorrow. Because some people would just say, oh, fuck it, you know, I'm sorry, I forgot, blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen out here. People brought what they were supposed to. People are held accountable. But it's also because they care about each other, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm speaking because I've only been here for 2 days, but just from the respect that's given at the table and to each other, it doesn't seem like there's too much ego out here.
Yeah. And like in our industry, I think we deal with that a lot. And you know, it's good because we want to relax and have a good time with each other. And, you know, we're here to compete, but we're also here to just like hang out and bounce ideas off each other.
What do you think? What are the trends looking like on the East Coast? Do you notice that flavor preferences and pheno hunts out here tend to be different?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because you specifically, I know you're bringing that New York flavor, you know? That's reminding me almost of AJ Sour, you know? It's along those lines. A little bit smoother. It doesn't have quite like the gasoline that punches you in the nose. Like, that was very smooth for how strong the nose was. That was fire.
Yeah, flower like tests at like 30% THCA. So like I was saying earlier, it has a high THCA value.
You can feel it.
Yeah, it's strong.
That's the Cosmic Cheech. We're going to see how he fares today. We haven't got the results yet, so this is the pre-show to the finals. The qualifier already went down. He was second out of 15 at his table, correct?
Yeah, for full melt.
For full melt, and that means he made it through the qualifier, so he has a chance to take it all home today, guys.
Yeah,
that's a cash prize of over $12,000 for the melt, $20,000 to the rosin. It's an amazing competition. Any last words to the people at home? How can they get in touch with you if they want to support?
You can hit me up on IG. That's where like I just document everything I'm doing.
What's the IG?
Cosmic Cheech _MA.
At Cosmic Cheech _MA. Go give him a follow. Hit him up. Talk tech. Maybe if you're in the area, you guys can work together. We should share some cuts. I want to give you some of our genetics, see how they grow out here. It's always amazing to see how different cuts, the same cut, can turn out differently in different areas.
Yeah. I got a lot of breeding and pheno hunting going on currently, so.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
It is. If you guys are watching this year, get ready for next year because he's breeding the new one. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Chris, from at Cosmic Cheech _MA.
Yeah.
Right?
After that.
All right, go give him a follow, guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Appreciate you, dude. We're back and we're joined by Jason from Electric City Hash Company. Jason, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Now, Electric City Hash Company, you heard that right?
They call it Scranton. What? The Electric City. Scranton. What? The Electric City.
Not owned by Michael Scranton, owned by Jason Scranton. This is his cousin, hailing out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Tell us a little about what the Electric City Hash Company is.
So we all started with just a love for hash. And what I did was I just dove into washing hash as much as I could. But I never really had the material, like the fresh frozen or anything like that. So I looked out to friends and I came up here to like beautiful Maine. And I have some like really close friends up here that would just toss me fresh frozen and I would just beg them for it. I'd be like, please let me get some fresh frozen so I can wash and learn and teach myself. And I have some amazing friends up here that help me out. So that's where that started. And then we had some friends set up. I brought in my 2 partners that are with me right now. One has extensive knowledge in growing, and my other's just like handyman, does it all, does all that kind of like electrical HVAC work. So we work together, and now we all wash and we all like grow together. And
so you each kind of have your own skill set that you bring to the table.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Liam Nielsen have a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all at the hardware store one day and you just ran into each other buying different things. And you're like, we could work together.
Yep. That's exactly how it happens.
So
But yeah, we like grew up together. So
synchronistic. Did you guys just grow up all smoking pot and then it just led to one passion led to the other, and then the pinnacle was the solventless realm?
So funny story. Me and my partner that grows with me, Eddie, we've known each other for a while, and we smoked, and it turned into all this. My buddy Billy, who I've also grew up with, he didn't have a lot of knowledge in cannabis. So when we brought him into it, he got fully immersed into some of the best cannabis in the United States, with having some of your stuff back in the day, and having all these beautiful hash growers or hash makers and growers from Maine. We just fully immersed him into that, where we started with, soupy VHO.
Black,
and some,
trim slabs. So he went 0 to 100. He went from, I joke about that with anybody we introduce these days, because if you run into somebody in a random town and you give them a dab, they have no clue that they're going from, oh, what is this ditchweed joint, to sometimes the pinnacle of exploring what the plant has to offer,
Absolutely, yeah.
So it is amazing, and it is something to say about the culture that's being spread, not just from the West Coast, and all around the world at this point. You see all the different competitions popping up and all the different celebrations of the plant. So it's awesome to see how far it has come. And speaking of how far it's come, we were speaking earlier with Hunter about the new genetics and some of the most unique profiles that I saw. It's not every day that you see a new profile in general, but it was one that I did see here. Is this BTTZ number 5? The stuff on you is crazy. Can you talk a little bit about what this stuff is?
So Hunter ran his own genetics, and he had a Z-Cube male that he hit a lot of these his amazing cuts to. I was lucky enough to do a couple tests for him, and I ran the banana papaya across the Z-Cube, and we popped a pack just to do a couple testers, and we found a winner. Luckily, we found a winner. It was our 5th pheno, and it hits a lot of the other phenos washed at 1%, 2%. This one hit 5+.
No way.
And
it's rare that you find terps like these with a yield.
And so when I was eyeing them up in the tent, I was keeping notes, and I was kind of feeling out this the stem rubs and just the leaves and the terps in general. And the one that hit 5% wasn't on my this one's going to be the one with. So I feel like
so
it's
you couldn't tell by the stem rub.
The stem rub, or even just grabbing the trichome from the buds at the end. You know what I mean? And doing
that's an important
tests.
element. I've thought about that before, because some people, they grow on such a scale that they start eliminating what they're even going to back up based off of stem rubs.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may be throwing something away.
Yeah.
That's a diamond in the rough.
This would have been it. So we washed them all fully, and little small washes. But
so how long does it take to do all that?
So
speaking of love for the plant, you gotta wash every small batch by itself. What are we talking, 1,000 grams?
So I set up a bunch of 5-gal washers.
Okay.
With the ice extract mini cubes.
Okay.
So I put each pheno in a cube, and I had a different set of rosin evolution bags for each one. So it was just I did
fresh
4
sets, so you don't get any of the flavor overlapping.
Yep. So I did 4 of them at the same time, in the same cycle. I didn't leave the room, so it was just cycling through bags, trying to all right, this one we're starting. This one has to get started in 10 minutes. Set a 10-minute timer. This one's going in 20 minutes. So we ran through them, and we were lucky enough to find that number 5. It was great.
That's amazing. It's always a blessing when you find something like that, and then when you actually have it backed up. I've heard countless stories, even with ourselves. You find some awesome stuff, and then one thing leads to another, and you don't have it backed up. So it's amazing to see you have it, and not only have it being brought to the table in the highest competition format, one where you have the chance to win $20,000. What does that feel like, man? I was telling you, I think you have one of the best chances. I've been calling it here. How are you guys? Yeah, I'm recording. 1 second. I've been telling everybody you have some of the best chances at actually winning the whole pot. How does it feel to go from maybe somebody that was not known on a wider national scale to somebody that's on the precipice of maybe being known globally.
Yeah,
Huh? You're going to be my superstar. I'm making you sign my contract. We're going to get 90% of everything. 99 like Drewski.
Dude,
But, like, what's it feel like?
It's amazing. Like I was just talking to my teammates before, and I just kept thanking them. I was like, guys, we did it. Like we pushed the last couple of years like hard, and you know, I'm lucky enough to find that pheno, and then like a couple of our other things run really well, and it's you know, it never stops. So like I do others, like I have a full-time job on top of doing this, and I have a little girl at home, a baby coming in October. October. So it's coming. My daughter's coming right during harvest.
Awesome.
It's gonna be like a wild time.
October babies are the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, it sounds like you have a lot going for you. A lot to be grateful for. What is something that you think people should know if they want to get into the hash making scene? You know, some people have seen it as kind of a gold rush. A lot of people have overproduced fresh frozen. What's some of your advice to somebody that's looking at this and saying, you know, how can I do that? What would you say?
Just like don't get discouraged, because there is a lot of fire out there, but that doesn't mean like you yourself can't find some fire and some genetics. Like I always say that it's genetics. I talked to people that ask me to do toll runs, and
they're like, why isn't it turning out like your BPPBC?
Yeah, so I'm like, it's the genetics. You have to find something or get the right genetics to run. Before I even started growing, I did a lot of washing, and I give so much props to growers and everything that they do. I feel like the hash part is, you know, it's a large part of it, but not even nearly as much as the time that growers put into what they're, you know, what they're doing and all the hunting and everything.
It takes at least 8 weeks, 12 weeks, fucking 20 weeks to grow it. It takes a day or two to wash it, dry it. So give the respect to the growers, give the respect to the single source people, give the respect to the breeders that are making it happen. But the pheno hunting is really where the soldiers are going to war, you know, because you might take a ghost wash, you may find nothing, or you may find the next new thing that changes a whole market. So we appreciate you for doing that, for chasing the new flavors, and hopefully everybody can try this soon.
Thank you, man.
Any last words? How can people find you if they want to get in touch?
So Electric City Hash Company, all one word.
At Electric City Hash Company.
Yep, on Instagram. I do have to give a huge shout out to Hunter and the Hidden Forest Boys. They've been absolutely crushing it the last couple of years. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be sitting right here or even at any of these events. When I first started, Hunter tossed me a few cuts that were like, here you go, try these. They should wash well for you, and you know, start to do your own thing. And he watched me grow, and they just continue to help me with you know, seeds and genetics, and they're the most like open, like kind-hearted people up here. And huge shout out to throwing this competition. This is amazing. Like, I would have never got to meet you or any of the other West Coast people because I don't get to travel that much.
You're not the first person that has said that Hunter has been a huge guiding force in actually not just being here today, but starting the entire journey in itself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's amazing because he didn't say that about himself when he was up here. He was just telling people, you know, what he believes in and why they're doing this. So it's awesome to see the people that stand behind him, and it kind of that shows you why they have such a turnout, why they have people flying in from around the country, because it's a good leadership here, it's good organization, and like everybody has mentioned, it's not just Hunter, Matt, the women behind them, everybody here does a great job at making this happen, so we're grateful. He almost got off the hook, guys, without taking his dab before he left. So I got you scooped on some orangutan titties over there.
Ooh,
that's
nice.
our pheno from Grease Monkey crossed to Skittles from Exotic Genetics. We pheno hunted that, and that's from Summer Depths of 2024. So that's some fresh stuff for you there.
Oh yeah, dude, thank you.
Of course. There you go, and he's going in on a Storm & Norman Zong. As you all know, we love Storm & Norman. We have the Orb out today. The Zongs are one of our favorite hash smoking apparati, because they just deliver the smoke in such a good form.
Storm, he's
And a
awesome.
Storm & Norman
He's the
cow.
man.
That's awesome.
I know I have to get him a jar of this because that was one of our agreements. I had to get him a jar of the BPPZ.
What are you guys going to be working on next after the BPPZ? Sorry to interrupt you, but when I see this, I like to know, where's your mind going next?
So I just popped 10 seeds, and it's a straw guava cross with Z-Cube. 100 seeds
cool.
again,
Okay.
and So we're gonna do those.
Because they have a nice strong guava, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing.
It's
so
an outlier.
it is. But I popped 10 seeds and 8 of them came out female. So I was like,
That's a good ratio.
yeah, I can't beat that. So
You good? Hot dabs.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you. This is the Electric City. Straight from Maine, the Culture Cup, some of the best resin that we've smoked in our lives. We've traveled to Spain. We've traveled to Colombia. But it's hard to compare to the smoke that's going down and the fool that Sensei Solventless is making of himself behind the camera out here in Maine at the Culture Cup. One of the best fields of competition. We got passion for hashing. Damn it, Bobby, everybody behind the scenes. How was that? What do you think about that?
That's amazing,
It's
man.
nice, right?
I really like that.
It's a cool one. So you're seeing it here first, guys. We're going to be trading some genetics. 2 Pennsylvania boys, you know, just holding it down. I don't know if I told you, but we were originally from outside of Pittsburgh. So,
Yeah.
moved out to Cali 7 years ago. Hey, we're going to have all the Pennsylvania boys have a little group chat like, oh, what cuts do you want to trade, boys? Let's not give it to Sensei. Sensei's bitch ass out here getting no mount. He sells asbestos if you guys see him on the street.
I'm gonna make a name for myself. Yeah. I got to sit next to him during our melt table. He's such a good kid.
Yeah, he puts the headphones
Amazing.
on like he's a Rain Man out
He
there.
didn't have his headphones
Oh,
today.
really?
So
Oh, yeah, they came late. That's why he had to be sociable.
Yeah.
It was God's way of saying, hey, talk to your fellow peers. And one of the biggest takeaways I think that everybody should know is it's not just a competition against others. It's a competition with yourself. Do your best and then come out here and share and learn from each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm currently learning from you. And he's maybe learning that he shouldn't have came on the podcast because I probably made him take a dab too hot. Jason, thanks again for coming on, dude.
I really appreciate it.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.
I really
Good luck tonight. You're looking
Thank
at a
you.
future winner maybe right here, folks.
Let's hope, baby.
All right.
I'm just humbled to be here. I really am.
So clip this. You're good to go, buddy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, sit in. Can you hear me? All right. And we are back, and as you can see, it's flattened down a little bit because the main party is about to start. The award ceremony is about to start. You've seen some competitors, you've seen the founders, you've seen Coach Brucey. Today is a celebration of the culture out here in Maine. If you've missed it, we hope you can join us next year. It's been a blast. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. We got Zach Brown in the back, Missless behind the keys, Asher Valley signing out from Maine. If you've never been here, we'll see you next year. Oh,